Desmond Landers here, your startup advisor, and welcome to Going Global from Miami, Florida. Now, as you already know, this is not a usual Going Global for me. Normally, I do it from, anywhere from a mountaintop to a stable body of land, right? But as you can see, we're rocking back and forth. We're actually just right off the coast of downtown Miami here, and it's very interesting. Miami is a hugely diverse place for a couple of reasons. Number one, you have very, very wealthy people here, and then you have not so wealthy people here. And there's a huge disparity sometimes in income between one part of the water and the other. For you as an entrepreneur though, your goal is to provide unique products and services to people who actually do have the money to pay you. So in the event that you want to help others who may not be as fortunate, you can do so. So in this video, what we're going to cover is we're going to cover some of the ways that you can not only get started and plant yourself here in Miami, Florida, but also how you can capitalize on the diversity that is here. Now, the first thing you got to do before you start a company is you got to get incorporated. I don't care what anybody tells you. You need an LLC, and in the state of Florida, that's going to run you about $125. The second thing you're going to want to do is understand what the renewal cost is going to be every single year. That's a $150 annual registration. To me, that's actually pretty darn high because I pay $50 in Wyoming, $125 in Virginia, and then I'm sure Texas has something, but right now they say, no franchise taxes. So it's pretty high, but it's worth it because of the people that are here and the opportunities that can be had. The third thing you're going to want to do is if you're in the unincorporated area of Miami-Dade County, you're going to want to go down to the office and get a business registration license that's going to cost you about $111. So you're looking at about $386-ish to incorporate and be good for your first year. Now, after you do that, there's three areas you're going to want to focus on here. Number one is luxury services. Number two is fitness products and services. And then number three is catering a service or product to the international market here. The average per capita income in Miami proper, as you can actually see behind me, is about $23,000 to $28,000. Now, there's other parts that are not too far removed from there, like places like Fisher Island, for example, we'll see in a second, that have about $240,000 in median average income. Those are the places you want to go after for your luxury services like concierge, dry cleaning pickup, travel agency services to premium clients, folks who don't want to be on the radar but have the money to spend with you, and they have the disposable income to not have to worry about just needs, but they can also buy the things they want. Luxury cars, luxury yachts, airplanes, boat rides, helicopter rides. All that stuff can be done in Miami, whereas in a place like Columbus, Ohio, where I'm from, you're not going to see that stuff too much. So if you're into luxury services and you have a business model that is low volume but high cost, you could probably do pretty well here because most of the people in that industry are independent solopreneurs, and you can do well here if you can find your own niche. The second thing here is because of the geography and the demographics of where Miami sits in Florida, it's always hot here. And so normally in a place where people are hot, they don't wear as many clothes and they don't eat as much heavy food. And so what that yields is that people that are actually into fitness and health. So if you have a product into fitness and health, Miami is probably the number one place in the United States outside of LA to get a startup like that off the ground. The third area I would focus on is the international market. There's a lot of Russians here, Jewish people from South America and Brazil, and normally if they are here, that means they are very wealthy in their own country to make the migration here, especially if they live on places like Fisher Island that have the highest per capita income per zip code other than any other place in the country, or if they live in South Beach or Miami Beach, or even downtown in places like Brickell and Wynwood. In those places, you have a lot of corporations here. As you can see behind you, you've got Intercontinental Hotels, Citibank, Goldman Sachs has offices down here. You've got people that are working either under someone for a corporation or for themselves. There's a high concentration of entrepreneurs here just because of the tourism. So if you can find something that can cater to an international market, this is probably the best place without you having to go across the pond to Europe or go south of the border and go to Mexico or South America. You can actually stay within your own country and cater to the international market. A couple things I would say about Miami though. The cost of living can be pretty high here, and on average, that's normally the number one enemy of an entrepreneur. It's great to be in a place where the sun's out every day, where people are driving nice cars, they're eating a lot of healthy food, but you have to make sure you can actually keep up the expenses to be able to cater to those people and not be worrying about your bills every month. So if you're in a place, I don't know, like Denver, Colorado, actually Denver's a bad example, but if you're in a place like Kansas City, Missouri, and you're looking to move to Miami, cost of living is something you're going to want to factor in because you're probably not big enough to be worrying about the business expenses as much as you're worrying about your personal break-even point. If you need $3,000 a month to live or $5,000 a month to live, that number is probably going to go up by about 40 or 50% here. Now, I know a lot of advisors don't talk to you about that, but the reality of the situation is when you're self-funded as an entrepreneur, you have to take into account these things where the rubber meets the road. And the first thing you're going to have to make sure is, can I pay my rent? Can I pay my car note? Can I pay my cell phone bill? Can I pay my child's tuition? You got to take that into account. But if you think there's an opportunity in a place like Miami, you move immediately as soon as you can run those numbers. It's the same transition and move that I made from Columbus, Ohio to Atlanta, Georgia. The cost of living in Atlanta is about 30% higher, but I'm experiencing significantly better environment. I feel better about being an entrepreneur. I'm not the only one. And also there's a lot more people that can actually buy what I have to offer. And oh, by the way, when I say I'm doing business and I'm from Atlanta, people look at you differently the same way if you come from New York City or a place like Miami. There's one place that I want to talk about very briefly before I wrap up here. It's a unique co-working space in Wynwood called The Lab. I've got some friends that are members there and they just swear by it because sometimes they can't always be as productive as home. You know how that goes. You have a TV or you have your bed and you just like crash out in the middle of the day and you don't get any work done. If you want to go to an environment that's formal but is still cool and hip, find a co-working environment like The Lab, for example, here in Miami, or an incubator in your city, and go work there and mingle with other entrepreneurs, because what you'll find is in those days where money's not coming in and you get lonely and it's a rainy day outside and you're ready to give up on entrepreneurship, you'll find that there's a community of people that can support you that go through that on a weekly basis, even if they are successful. That's how you stay in the game, by being able to actually make sure that you're in an environment where the support of your journey is actually being fostered. There's a whole lot I could say about Miami. A couple interesting things that I found here. We've got some pictures of this, is that when we were coming through the body of water that splits the mainland to South Beach, there's actually a practice and a thing called dredging, and apparently they're building like man-made islands in the middle of the water. So, as you can probably see on this footage, there's a lot of tankers and boats and all this type of stuff that's carrying actual gravel and dirt and sand to do what they're doing in Dubai by making these man-made islands. So there's a lot of unique opportunities that you won't find in other parts of the country that are going to benefit you as an entrepreneur. And I would highly recommend that if you come to Miami, look at the cost of living, make sure that you have a unique niche service or product in luxury fitness or catering to the international community, and then make sure you have all your licenses and your registration squared away, and this should be a good fit for you. I'm Desmond Landers, your startup advisor and partner in entrepreneurship, and this is Going Global from Miami, Florida. Have a good one.